Today, the installation of the first dialogue table between the Raizal people and the departmental government took place, during which various issues of great importance for the island were discussed.
In the morning, Interim Governor Randy Manuel gave some words of welcome during the installation of the dialogue table and reiterated the importance of these dialogues for the community of the archipelago.
And we're here today. Today is to install this test that this is really important, this moment, all the moment then that we can articulate, have a conversation with one another. We really need it. This table today, we have the Raizal community, Ms. Ophelia sitting on the table, Mr. Juan Ramirez, Mr. Pastor Augusto. We have the different institutions who are here accompanying with today. We have the Secretary of Development, we have the Director of Corporate. This moment is really not easy. Some of the secretaries who are not here this moment have different things from the country area that is required some issues. So that's why they're not here this moment. I was with them, so I come late at this moment. But this moment is really great.
About the topics to be discussed and the petitions our Raizal leaders shared with us.
De acuerdo al espacio autónomo que tuvimos en el día de ayer.
According to the autonomous space, we hope to work on 3 priority issues. Number 1, the construction and reconstruction of the houses that were affected by the 2 hurricanes, the resources of the SAI that by law correspond to community projects for the Raizal ethnic population, and number 3, the overpopulation and the Okre that at this moment is not complying with its legal duty to protect and preserve the identity of our Raizal people.
On the specific issue of the Okre, the leader states that it is of vital importance to review the management of the office for the past fiscal years.
Hay que hacer una exhaustiva investigación.
We have to make an exhaustive investigation of the bad administrative procedures that the Okre has had for 30 years, not only with this director or with the current board, but with all the previous directors who have had much more time since this director. And also they have been committing any amount of mismanagement, delivering the Okre card without due process, and at this moment one of the issues we are going to do is to stop the delivery of cards until we evaluate the office and see if it is complying with its function or not.
Let's remember that this dialogue table takes place after the blockade and the peaceful protest presented by the Raizal leaders at the Okre office.
The Department of La Guajira, the heads of the 32 departments of the country, met today at the Governor's Summit organized by the National Federation of Departments.
Archipelago Department Everett Hawkins Shogreen participates in the Governor's Summit being held today and tomorrow, June 3rd and 4th, in the Department of La Guajira, where the central theme of the event is Balance and Challenges in Energy Transition, FUNPET, Royalties and Security. For that reason, the departmental leaders met in the village of Mapayo, municipality of Manaure, to review the progress of the energy transition route undertaken by Colombia, considering not only the issues of clean energy macro projects, but also investment opportunities and the generation of resources from the mining sector as a source of generating resources for the progress of the regions.
We are talking about energy transition issues, FUNPEC resources issues, among other vital issues for our department. In the case of the energy transition, we in San Andres are applying those public policies that are within the departmental development plan articulated with the national development plan of our President Iván Duque. We are implementing alternative energy, photovoltaic energy, in the sector of Cunabite, which is a sector of the Raizal population.
The Governor's Summit was attended by the President of the Republic, Iván Duque Márquez, the Ministers of the Interior, Finance and Public Credit, Mines and Energy, Environment and Sustainable Development, Carlos Correa.
The Netanya Technical Institute undertook a campaign on social networks to acquire a roof that they need. since they have nowhere to take a break or practice cultural activities out of the sun or rain.
924 students are suffering from the inclement sun after not having a roof in the areas where they perform cultural events and take their break at the Netanya Educational Institution. So they launched a campaign to get support from Foundation of the Departmental Administration.
Nos preocupa que
We are concerned that year after year, we have to ask the different governments for a roof for the main court and for the back court, which is used by the elementary school children, and for the school cafeteria. And to this day, they have not complied. So we have launched a campaign through social networks to see which entity or organization will help us with the roof.
For the administrative body, it is important for students to have decent spaces.
pienso que nuestros estudiantes
I think that the students have every right to have a dining hall and a court with a decent roof where they can play their sports.
Not only the sun affects the student in the institution, but also the rain. Since they have no place to take shelter, this is what the student representative explains.
En realidad nosotros estamos sugiriendo un techo.
Actually, we are suggesting a roof because it is essential. As you can see, the sun affects us a lot, as well as the rain. Sometimes we have to suspend cultural events that are of great importance.
With this campaign, they hope to draw attention to achieve the spaces they need for the development of their activities, such as the dining room, which is not in optimal condition for students to receive their food that they're offered. After knowing about the situation of the educational institution, Teleislas knew tried to talk with the Education Secretariat, but due to agenda issues, they could not attend to us. However, we will be attentive to their statement.
The payments to the beneficiaries of the Colombia Mayor program have begun. The Secretariat of Social Development invites the community to be punctual with the payment collection.
From the 1st until the 14th of June, senior citizen payments will be made in the island. The Social Development Secretariat invites the community to claim the subsidies on time, depending on the last digit of their ID card.
The Secretary of Social Development informed the beneficiaries of the Programa Colombia Mayor that we begin the payment corresponding to the month of May, the 1st of June, and that these aids will be available until the 14th of the present month. We request the community to collaborate with us, informing our beneficiaries so that they can make use of this aid.
The beneficiaries are also reminded of the importance of updating their data, either due to the change of address or telephone number, as this way they will be able to contact them and notify them of any news regarding the benefit received.
And once again, the Secretariat of Agriculture and Fisheries, in the colloquial saying, knocked the ball out of the ballpark. That is with the third Agrofood Fair at the Farmers Market Square. The activity was a complete success today with farmers and agro-entrepreneurs who exhibited their products, including Bosco, watermelon, cherry tomato, cucumber, banana, basket pepper, tamarind, banana, and cassava, coconut and coconut water, among others. Also on display were proceed products such as fish, chicken, and meat pies with breadfruit flour, rondong, fish, meatballs, stew kongs, hot sauce, plum juice, sorrel juice, breadfruit, sweetened bread out of yuca, sweets, jellies, honey, cakes, and cookies. The fairs will continue, and more farmers are expected to join the farmers market. In other news, the IDEAM has reported that the low-pressure system transiting through the Caribbean does not present a direct risk to the archipelago. However, rainy weather is expected to affect the region.
According to the recent report issued by the National Hurricane Center, precipitation and disorganized thunderstorms associated with a low pressure are observed near the Yucatan Peninsula and in the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. Therefore, the IDEAM refers to the indirect influence that the disturbance could cause in sectors of the western Colombian Caribbean Sea, including areas of the archipelago of San Andres, Old Providence, and Santa Catalina, generating cloudy conditions with moderate to heavy rains, probability of thunderstorms and gusty winds in the aforementioned areas. In addition, IDIAM warns and recommends to the National Unit for Disaster Risk Management and to the departmental and municipal councils of the Caribbean region and the archipelago of San Andres, Providence, and Santa Catalina to take the necessary measures, together with the communities, to avoid the loss of human lives and material goods, activating and reinforcing prevention measures aimed at reducing the risk of natural disasters. As a preventive measure, IDIAM is calling for the review and activation of contingency plans for those phenomena that may cause gales or mini tornadoes in sectors of the Caribbean region, including coastal and island areas with the close passage of tropical waves or cyclones.
Afroculture was experienced throughout the morning at the Bolivariano Institute. The educational institution carried out an AfroEnvironmental activity led by a teacher who is committed to the empowerment of Afro, Palenquero, and Raizal culture. Here is a report of what was experienced.
Es un espacio de conexión.
This is a space for connection with our greatness as an ethnic community, as an Afro-Raizal population. We even have a Palenquero community here in the Institute, and this is to show our ancestral connection with Mother Earth, with recycling and environmental entrepreneurship.
With handicrafts made from recyclable materials, costumes representative of the Afro culture, typical gastronomy of the island, music, among others, the Agro-Environmental Fair of the Bolivariano Institute was celebrated in style with the participation of all the students linked to this school. Contests, prizes, and parades were not lacking in this activity. In the main hallway of the institution, all attendees could see stands where each one shows something different about agriculture and the environment.
Hoy los engalanamos con un vestuario afro.
Today we have the Afro dresses, so the students come with their costumes, with their hair curled. We have the African fashion show. We have the African Queen activity, which has to do with the girls who have talent and skills to make cornrows and braids. We have some ambassadors who use costumes in recyclable material, and we have a lot of important things here today. We also invited Afro Women's Organization so that they can see that at the Bolivariano Institute we have space for culture and education.
One of the very important things that was highlighted during the activity was recycling and how they instilled in the students the importance of reusing some elements, such as coconut-based cosmetic products and other products that are seen in the archipelago department. Afro women, their hair and their color are also empowered this morning, an initiative created to enhance and exalt the culture of the island people.
And now we continue with Millicent O'Neill and the news of the municipality of Full Providence and Santa Catalina.
Good evening to all our viewers. This is the most relevant information from Old Providence and Catalina. The quality of the material for the reconstruction of houses in the municipality is being questioned once again. This time in a video, the quality of these materials is being compared.
A video that has gone viral on social media shows how the quality of some of the wood being used in the reconstruction are not the most appropriate.
This one of wood, we're going to use the bad board. I'll show you an example how easily this one can broke. Watch this. Can broke. Now we got the same board here, the same piece of board I use, and check this.
We spoke with a person in charge of the house during a visit of the reconstruction auditor who said that the wood does not comply with the characteristics to make a resistant house.
But the interventoria come and will explain and show them said technically the board doesn't comply with the characteristic. We also had other person from the island who work with construction and who confirmed that the material is not a good material.
Yesterday, some of the wood was removed from the site, according to the community.
What got me very worried is that the Edwin Duarte, the engineer who in charge of this one of the construction, said that they already have built several houses with this type of material. So why are giving problem to them?
Teleislas contacted the manager in charge of the reconstruction projects to clarify the situation. However, at the closing of this broadcast, there was no official pronouncement. The microphones remain open, awaiting an answer.
And despite the clear progress of the reconstruction, some elderly people are still living in tents. This is the case of Oscar Bernard and his wife.
Oscar Bernard is an elderly farmer in the Bottom Hole section who is asking for the construction works to be restarted on his house since his tent can no longer hold up.
I live in just like a dog out a door because I have a tent and tent they're rotten. Every minute I have the hall, tarpaulin, they pull tarpaulin, and I don't know where at all. When it rain, I don't have to get up to drink water because I just open my mouth and bed and drink water.
It's been 3 months since the construction stopped.
And then don't come back and say nothing and come and put a Maya protect it. If any picnic go in there, you're not got no expense. But that is not the solution. The solution is me. Because I they feel, and they don't know what I they feel. People talking, people that never have a house, come and get. And me, we got the house 30 years, you're out of doors yet.
According to the farmer, the situation has already affected the health of his wife.
That's the Lloyd and this is the Oscar. Done for Lloyd since he advanced, I make I get in there. And I will move in there till when mine done. I want to stand 9 years. I will wait for mine 2029, 31st of December because I out and do. So when on done one, I have in one.
The inhabitant requests for one of the houses to be finished so that he can leave the tent.
And in recent days, the Department of Social and Community Development officially opened the activities that will be carried out for the benefit of the elderly population. This opening was done in a sectorized manner, where for 2 days, senior citizens were treated with Roomba therapy, screening, massages, manicures, haircuts, among others. On the other hand, today, the elderly people with disabilities were visited with a gift and typical music in their homes. And this is all we have for tonight for this section of Old Providence and Catlina. Continue in San Andres with more Teleislas news. Good night.